Hi, in this video I want to discuss the Matrix movies, more specifically what I believe Neo is and what I believe Neo's role in the Matrix is. If you've seen the Matrix movies, you know that initially the human mind did not accept the Matrix. It was too perfect. The human mind needed conflict in order to believe that the Matrix was reality. Multiple versions of the Matrix were created, but they all seemed to fail. The humans would not accept them. The architect, not understanding human behavior, came up with a program to study human behavior. That program was the Oracle. Through the Oracle studying of human behavior, she realized that the human mind is willing to accept anything as long as they feel like it was their choice to do so. What the architect decided to do was that even on a subconscious level, give people a choice to either accept the Matrix or reject it. By doing so, people accepted the program, but as a response, it created an anomaly in the system. That anomaly became Neo. There have been multiple Matrixes, so therefore there has also been multiple anomalies, meaning there has been multiple Neos. Neo, being the anomaly, has the power to do anything in the Matrix that he chooses to, as long as he makes the choice to do so. But it's not enough to simply choose to do something. You have to know why you're making the choice, as well as having a purpose behind the choice. The Oracle, wanting a different outcome and wanting this cycle to end, comes up with a strategy. The past Neos, or the past anomalies, had a general relationship with the human race. They did this in order to use this as leverage against the anomaly, meaning Neo, and against Zion. What I mean by that is they need the source code from Neo to reboot the Matrix, but they cannot force him to do so. So they allowed him to have a relationship with the people free from Zion to use it as leverage against him every time they rebooted the Matrix. The choice being, either you go back to the source and reboot the Matrix and allow other people to be free to restart Zion, or you can choose not to, and we will eliminate the human race altogether. All the previous anomalies made the rational choice, which is to return to the source, allow the Matrix to be rebooted to continue the human race. But at the start of the Matrix movies, the Oracle decides to do something different. Being tired of the cycle, she manipulates Neo and Trinity to fall in love with each other. So when it comes time to make the choice, Neo isn't concerned about the general human race. He makes a different decision because Neo is in love, and Trinity takes priority over the leverage that they originally had, which was the general human race. At the end of the Matrix movies, Agent Smith, which has essentially become a virus, takes over the Matrix. Neo plugs back into the Matrix, and by doing so, he allows Agent Smith to take over him, and they're able to hack into Agent Smith and eradicate the virus. But Neo served a different purpose by the people of Zion putting their blind faith into him, into a prophecy that the Matrix itself had created. They also had another form of control even over the people that were not plugged into the Matrix by them putting their faith into Neo and essentially them guiding Zion into where they wanted them to go through Neo. Now in the Matrix 4, what they explain is Neo and Trinity were killed, but they were revived and brought back. Somehow through this process, the connection of Neo and Trinity was so strong that Neo's source code actually split. So they needed Trinity and Neo in order for the Matrix to continue to function. What I'm confused about is that even if they brought back Neo from the previous Matrix, the Matrix was still rebooted. So by it being rebooted, wouldn't it be another anomaly? Wouldn't another anomaly be created outside of the anomaly that Neo was in the previous movies? Also, Agent Smith makes a statement to Neo in the Matrix 4 saying that the difference between Agent Smith and Neo is that anybody could have been Neo, whereas Agent Smith was always anybody, insinuating that anybody can tap into the power of the anomaly. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't really have an issue with Trinity and Neo sharing the power of the source. I actually like the dynamic of a couple working together to fulfill their true potential. I just think that the execution in this movie, I don't want to say it was necessarily bad. I just wasn't expecting the tone of this movie. The tone of this movie was very different than the previous other movies. But if you didn't like this movie, I challenge you to watch it again with the expectations of knowing what the tone is, and you might actually enjoy it upon a second viewing. Some of the themes I took from The Matrix 4 was that in this movie, they don't necessarily hide the Matrix from the population. They actually tell the population what the Matrix is through the video games that Neo created called The Matrix. What I took from that was the government, corporations, the powers that be, they actually let us know what their plans for us are in media such as movies, games, TV shows, to slowly indoctrinate us and condition us to accept what is about to come. An example of that would be a movie with Will Smith called Enemy of the State. At that time, the government spying on us, using surveillance on us, listening to our phone calls was very taboo. But little did we know that these would be the things that they would implement later into society. Right now we see trends of themes in movies such as multiverses, interstellar travel. I believe that the space venues that we have been through, the government has already discovered different things, whether it be life forms, whether it be the idea of multiverses, whether it be the idea of the realistic possibility that we can have interstellar travel. What they're doing through these movies is they are slowly giving us this information to condition us, to prepare us for when they finally reveal these things to the public. Also, in the original Matrix, we had agents which essentially enforced the will of the Matrix, meaning control. Well, now in present time, in this Matrix, we have bots, which I took as people want to feel accepted. People want to feel like they're a part of something. So whatever we see on social media, whatever we think is trending, whatever we think is the popular opinion, people will go along with that because they want to feel included. Well, now, when you look at social media, these aren't even real people anymore. These are bots. These are government officials. These are things implemented by corporations and the government to sway public thinking, to sway the way we view things, to sway the way we think about things by making people feel like it's popular opinion when really it's certain forces and certain entities pushing these narratives and these trending subjects. Also, like I said, I'll have to rewatch it again. I'm fairly busy, and 2.5 hours is a lot to digest over and over again. But again, I like the themes that they were going for. I don't think they were executed nearly as good as they should have been. But I think the reason for that was that The Matrix 4 was also poking jabs at reboots themselves. Essentially, the way this movie was set up, we had a Morpheus who wasn't really Morpheus. He was somebody programmed to imitate Morpheus on what he thought he would act like, which essentially is what reboots are. Is just a watered down version of what we've already been given. And that was the intention of this movie, to regurgitate and we go over things we've already been given, but in the worst way, which is what this movie definitely accomplished. And in that way, it is a genius movie. I don't know if they're going to make sequels or what their plans for the Matrix movies are going to be. But I do enjoy the Matrix movies as a whole, not necessarily because of their cinematic value, but because of the hidden messages in the Matrix movies. I might go over that a different time as far as the original trilogy, or more specifically, the original movie. Hopefully that's something you're interested in hearing about, but I just wanted to give a general review on The Matrix 4 itself and the role that Neo played throughout the movies. If you're interested in commenting, or if you have an opinion, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching.